Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. This video is going to be top 10 legal drugs, and this video was suggested by a channel called Primzy. That's his name, Z Primzy. So I will leave a link to his channel in the description. Shout out to Primzy. But as you can see, I'm using my face cam right now. I really need a fucking haircut. But I'm using my face cam because my laptop isn't working at the moment, so I can't record any gameplay or really edit my video, so I'll have to be editing it on the phone. But anyways, let's get right into the video. So coming in at number 10, it might be a little bit of a controversial pick, but number 10 is going to be DXM. Now, this list, of course, is just my preferences, but I just am not the biggest fan of DXM, so that's why it is coming in at number 10. DXM is a NMDA antagonist and a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It has dissociative effects. I've never really gotten that far. It just kind of makes me feel a little drunk, a little tipsy, a little more than tipsy, but I've never had a full-blown experience with it. But I have heard that some people really enjoy it, so that's why I'm just throwing it on the list. But it's just not my thing, so that's why it's coming in at number 10. Okay, and coming in at number 9 is ADRAFANIL. Now, ADRAFANIL is actually a prodrug to modafinil. Modafinil is a I believe a Schedule 4 controlled substance. It is a stimulant, and ADRAFANIL is pretty awesome. I really recommend it as a study aid or as a motivational tool if you're going to work. It's not as euphoric as Adderall, but it is quite enjoyable because of the stimulation. It is a dopamine and adrenaline reuptake inhibitor, so it works similar to Ritalin, and maybe it works similar to cocaine, but not even close to being on the same level. But it can be quite euphoric, especially if you're doing something, if you're working, if you're studying, if you want to accomplish something. I would say it is a less euphoric Adderall, and it can be very enjoyable if you are in the right mood. Coming in at number 8 is phenethylamine. So, phenethylamine is a very interesting compound, mostly because it is very closely related to amphetamine. I believe amphetamines are technically substituted phenethylamines, but I would say phenethylamine, it's known as the backbone of the amphetamine compound. And what you need to do is you need to take it with a monoamine oxidase inhibitor B. If you do that, it makes it 4 times stronger, and it makes it last a couple hours. It makes it last a couple hours rather than 15-30 minutes, I believe is what it is, without the monoamine oxidase inhibitor. So phenethylamine is a serotonin, dopamine, and adrenaline releasing drug. So it works similar to MDMA. It is quite different. I would not go into it expecting an MDMA high. But if you are expecting an enjoyable, it is really weird. It's kind of unexplainable how it focuses you, but not in the way that Adderall does. It kind of focuses you on having a good mood, and it is natural. It's not like it's not like a very dangerous drug. I don't think anyone has ever overdosed on it, so that's a positive. But yeah, phenethylamine. Okay, so coming in at number 7 is KAVA. Now, kava is actually a plant, and I would liken its effects to maybe a low dose of a benzo. It's better than alcohol in my opinion, but that's just me. It can be very powerful if in the right mindset, if you're looking to relieve anxiety, if you're looking to just have a fun time. It is very, very enjoyable. It affects the GABA and the dopamine receptors. So GABA is what benzos affect, and dopamine is what stimulants mostly affect. But it doesn't affect adrenaline, so it's not going to make you anxious. It just gives you a nice, soothing. It's you feel motivated, accomplishment driven, you just want to succeed, and you're free of anxiety. It is a really, really nice drug, and I would recommend it very much. It's a natural plant, and it is pretty damn good. So, Kava Kava. So, coming in at number 6 is tianeptine. And tianeptine, strangely enough, is actually an antidepressant, but it acts very differently than most antidepressants. It is a dopamine releasing drug, and it also affects the opioid receptor, which is like, two of the best receptors if you're looking to get high. That it is very powerful, but it's expensive for what it's worth, as in you need to take a lot to feel it, and it is quite pricey. So it is very enjoyable. I've had some very powerful experiences on it that it is quite powerful for what it's an antidepressant, which is fucking weird. But it is a little pricey, so if you're looking for something cheap, I would look somewhere else. So here we go with number 5. It is Benzedrex, or propylhexadrine. Now, I've talked about propylhexadrine quite a bit on this channel. It is structurally similar to methamphetamine. It isn't technically an amphetamine, but it is closely related. I believe it's like one molecule off, but propylhexadrine is a dopamine, adrenaline, and serotonin releasing drug. So it does act similar to MDMA. I've never really done like strong MDMA. But I'm assuming it is quite a bit weaker, and you have to take it like in this cotton form, and it's sprayed with lavender and menthol, which isn't too bad, but it can be quite harsh if you have a weak stomach. But I would liken the effects of propylhexadrine to Adderall without like the concentration. You just feel good. You feel like your mood is raised, but you don't feel like really motivated or concentrated. You just kind of want to sit back, relax, and listen to music. But this stuff is quite cheap. I believe it is $4 at Walmart for one stick, and 250 milligrams to start off with is pretty normal dose. So yeah, it is a pretty cheap and pretty powerful stimulant. Okay, so coming in at number 4 is Phenibut, which is also another thing I've talked quite a bit about on this channel. Phenibut is quite a strong drug, and do not underestimate its strength, or it will fuck you up real bad, and you can get addicted to it pretty fast, which is why I'm kind of hesitant to even put it this high on the list. But I really do like it, and it is very enjoyable for how cheap it is. It is very cheap. You can use my link in the description to get 15% off all orders at liftmode.com, which is where I buy my Phenibut. But Phenibut affects the voltage-gated calcium channels, which is similar to gabapentin. It's actually the same way as gabapentin, but it also affects the GABA B receptor and the dopamine receptor pretty mildly. It affects GABA B more. But it is quite the drug. It feels like a mix, just a stimulant at lower doses and a depressant at high doses. It is very good for anxiety. Even if you're not going to get high off it, I would recommend it for anxiety. It takes a while to kick in. I would say it takes around 4 or 5 hours to peak, which is pretty high. That's a lot of people end up redosing because they don't think it's working, and then they get even more fucked up. But Phenibut, number 4. So number 3 is poppy seeds, and I talked about this on my last video. Poppy seeds, the coating contains morphine and codeine. So you guys already know what morphine and codeine are. I really don't have to go into explanation about that. But you need to buy unwashed poppy seeds. There really isn't much more to say. They got morphine and codeine in it. I will leave a link in the description to where you can learn more about that, because I go into much greater detail in my previous video. So, poppy seed. So, number 2 is Ephedra, the plant, or ephedrine. So I recently just learned that ephedrine can still be purchased, but not as a dietary supplement. It can be purchased for asthma. It's called Bronchade. So that I was unaware of, but ephedra, the plant, I have done, and it's okay, but I'm really kind of pointing out that you can buy ephedrine as an over-the-counter drug. I just recently learned this, maybe like a few weeks ago. I've yet to try it, but from what I've heard, it is a very powerful stimulant. It feels like amphetamine. It is probably the closest thing to amphetamine that you will get, but amphetamine. It affects the dopamine and adrenaline receptors, so just like amphetamine. I wouldn't recommend getting the plant. I have done it, the ephedra plant capsules. It's okay, but you got to take a fuck ton of it, and it makes me feel sick. So I would recommend buying Bronchade, which contains ephedrine for asthma. Now, I'm kind of cheating with number one because kratom is illegal in a few states, I believe 5 states, including the state I'm living in right now. But since, that's the other, it's the rest of the states that don't have it illegal. So I'm going to count this as a legal drug. I am going to I'm moving to a state in a few months that where kratom is legal. So I will be putting out more kratom reviews. I haven't done a video about kratom yet, but I'm hoping that I can get into that because kratom is really awesome. It is a plant. It's not dangerous. I'm assuming it can be addictive, but the euphoria from it, you can buy it in bulk online. The euphoria from it is quite powerful for it being a plant. It is awesome. I would not recommend kratom more. It is it's the best legal, in my opinion, the best legal high you will ever get, and it's cheap. It's like a stimulant at low doses. It feels like it gives you energy, but at high doses, it can give you a pretty nice opioid buzz. So that's why I'm recommending kratom as my number one legal drug pick. Okay, and I'm kind of going to do an honorable mention, which is loperamide or Imodium. I didn't want to include it on this list because it can be very dangerous. It can stop your heart, and it just isn't worth it. So you can get high off of it. I believe I made a video a while ago, which isn't very detailed, but I will leave a link in the description if you want to check that out. But I really strongly advise against trying to get high on Imodium because it can be very dangerous if you take high enough doses or if you don't know how you're doing it. If you're safe and you know what you're doing, I'm sure you weren't risking too much of your health, but I mean, I don't want to take that risk of putting that out there and someone getting hurt, so I'm not going to include it in my top 10 list, but I'm going to put it out there that you can get high off of it. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to play a little outro song. It's by my friend. He's been rapping a little bit. His name is Filthy. His username on SoundCloud is Filthy. So if you guys want to check him out, I will leave a link in the description for you to check out his music because I think, he doesn't have a budget or doesn't have expensive equipment. I think his music is pretty good, and that's, coming from someone who knows him, but I still think his music is pretty good. And once again, I want to thank Primsy for recommending this video, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.
Fuck. Bitch ass motherfucker, what you tryna do? Got my knife, can't believe it's not butter. Treat you like my food, eat you then I puke. I'm filthy, what you expect me to do? Fuck this shit up, I got to start a fire, then I run through. Look surprised, but you knew. Who are you? Must be new. Fuck the rules, kick the tiger in the jewels. Molecules, I'm not cool. April Fools, fuck you too. Swimming pool, filled with drool. If you see what I saw, you would too. Trippy as fuck, whoa dude. Smoke a J or two. Soul food, fuck Xanax, had a few. If you shit your pants and not excused, pop whatever you want to get them views. I don't need social media to follow you.